So I know it can be easy to look at LinkedIn articles and YouTube videos and posts about people that landed a job at Google or Facebook or Microsoft after just learning how to code 6 months ago. Now, the reality is these people are anomalies. This is extremely rare and really just not a reasonable expectation for any of you to have. So in this video, I want to bring you back to reality and share with you my career development and journey over really the past 10 years to get to the place where I'm at today. Now, I am relatively young. I'm only 22 years old. However, I started learning how to code when I was 12, and I've been working all kinds of jobs, as you're going to hear in this video, since I was about 14. Many of them not related to software engineering, many of them related to software engineering. Anyways, stick with me for this video. I'm going to bring you on the journey and talk to you about how I got to the place I'm at today. So just as a bit of added context here in case you're new to the channel, my name is Tim. I currently work as the lead software engineer for a tech startup that I am a co-founder in. Now, I am not the majority shareholder. I was brought on about a year ago to kind of run the whole engineering department. We have a few other developers that work with me. I kind of manage a team of them right now, and that's what I'm up to for most of my day other than filming YouTube videos. Regardless, let me give you the whole kind of journey until how I got to this point. So let's go all the way back to 2014, where I landed my first job ever, and this was working as an assistant for the company that my dad worked for, which did high-end home automation. And when I say high-end home automation, this means that they're doing lighting systems, AV systems, security systems, automatic shades, pretty much anything that you could imagine kind of being required when you get into really big homes. All kinds of crazy stuff, worked in all kinds of mansions and for very, very wealthy people. Regardless, what I did there was pretty much just work as kind of like a grunt person. I helped out on job sites, and then I programmed lighting systems, which meant that if you pressed the keypad, it would like turn this light on or make the shade go up or down. Super, super basic stuff. It was just pretty much the only job I could get because my dad got it for me when I was 14 years old. Then I was making about $15 an hour, whatever the minimum wage would have been in 2014 in Canada, and that was the first job that I had when I was 14. Continuing in 2015, I started working at a summer camp. Now, this summer camp was one I had been to many times. I knew a lot of people that worked there already, and it was very easy for me to get that job since I had been going to the summer camp for like years before that. Regardless, I worked as a counselor and I made $300 a week. Yes, $300 a week, which was much lower than minimum wage. Somehow they can actually pay you less when you work for a camp. Regardless, I wasn't complaining. With no expenses, that was still good money for me back when I was 15 years old. Now, I continued working at the summer camp from 2015 to 2017, each year making a little bit more money, but pretty much doing the same thing as a summer camp counselor. So I think I made $300, and then I made maybe $400 a week. And then by the time I was in my third year of being a counselor, I probably made like $475 a week or something along those lines. Then in 2017, at this point, I'm 17 years old, and in high school, while I wasn't working in the summer, I decided to pick up a job at McDonald's. I just worked as a normal crew member. I wasn't like a manager, anything like that. And I made minimum wage, worked about 15 or 20 hours per week. And I did this just to make a bit of extra money while I was in school. Now, keep in mind, at this point in time, I've just started my YouTube channel. It's very much a hobby. I have less than 1,000 subscribers. I'm making pretty much no money from it, and it's just something I'm kind of doing for fun. Obviously, I need to do other jobs if I want to make any kind of money, and I've always been interested in making money, so I was pretty much always doing any kind of job I could just to make a bit of extra cash while still focusing on school, fun, etc. All right, so now in 2018, this is when I decided to go back to the summer camp again. This year, however, I was promoted to a STEM program coordinator, which meant that I was gonna run a coding specialty as well as take care of all of the STEM-related programming at the camp. So that meant that I was doing things like overseeing robotics specialties, 3D printing, handling kind of third-party people or freelancers that would come in and work for the camp, and that's kind of what I did. It was a more management role. But I also taught kids how to program, and that's what continued to kind of encourage me to work on the YouTube channel. So I had videos that kids could watch after camp, kind of at home and to learn more. At this point, my YouTube channel had picked up a little bit. I had a few thousand subscribers. I was making a little bit of money from that. And I think the pay that I was making from being a STEM program coordinator was like $575 a week. So I was making, let's say, $3,000 a month if you take, the YouTube channel and you add my salary as a program coordinator. Now in 2019, I decided to do this again. So this is when I was in first year university. The YouTube channel had picked up even more. I was probably making a few $1,000s a month now from YouTube, as well as working again in the summer as a STEM program coordinator. And this time, I think I managed to get $750 a week after negotiating that salary. And all of a sudden I was starting to make, what felt like a lot of money for a 19-year-old with pretty much no expenses that had just entered first year university. Now, at this point, this is kind of where the career trajectory changes a bit, and I go from kind of all these random part-time jobs to doing some more serious software engineering related work, or at least coding kind of focused work. So let me get into that now. So in 2019, there was a portion of the summer where I wasn't working for the summer camp, and during that portion, I worked as a junior system administrator, again for the company that my dad worked for. This time I was doing much more serious programming work where I was actually writing legitimate code. I was writing a bit of code in Python, I was writing some code in Visual Basic, and I was doing some very kind of simple programming tasks and getting some systems to kind of integrate with each other. I was doing a little bit of networking stuff, kind of just working in the tech department, and had a little bit more, let's say trust. I wouldn't say necessarily responsibility, but they were giving me more adult type tasks to be doing. And that was the first kind of real, let's say, programming job that I had. So continuing from there, in 2020, this is when my YouTube channel really started picking up. I probably had about 100,000 subscribers, and I started to make what was pretty much a full-time income from YouTube. At that point in time was probably 40 or 50 grand a year that I was generating from YouTube. Now, through having the YouTube channel, I managed to get an interview at Microsoft. This is in 2020, and I landed a job as a Microsoft software engineering intern. So throughout the summer of 2020, I worked as a Microsoft intern. While I was working as an intern at Microsoft, I made $10,290 per month, plus a stipend of 4,900 Canadian dollars. So I made effectively, let's say, 35,000 Canadian dollars within 3 months of my Microsoft internship. Obviously, that was insane, and that was the highest income earning year I had. So I had all the money from the YouTube channel, which was like 45, 50 grand, something like that, plus all of the money from my Microsoft internship. So I made, let's say, $75,000 in 2020. Then comes 2021. In 2021, I stopped working at Microsoft because my YouTube channel was kind of just blowing up. I continued working quite a bit on YouTube, ended up making 6 figures on YouTube, and then I started working as an algorithms instructor at AlgoExpert. So at this point in time, I had already landed a legitimate software engineering role. I had some experience teaching through my kind of work at the summer camp, and obviously I have my YouTube channel now, which was a bit more credible. I had a bit more, let's say, substance to the videos and knowledge that I was sharing, and I ended up working for AlgoExpert. When I worked for AlgoExpert, I explained data structures and algorithm style interview questions. All of those are still available on the website. You guys can check it out. And after working as an algorithms instructor, I actually created my own course with AlgoExpert called Programming Expert. So I did this course in 2021. So to kind of backtrack a bit here, 2020, I worked for Microsoft. I became an algorithms instructor for AlgoExpert. Obviously, this whole time I was running the YouTube channel. Then in 2021, we created the Programming Expert course, which you guys can check out from the link in the description. And then in 2022, with AlgoExpert again, we created the Blockchain Expert course, which is for anyone looking to get into Web3 or blockchain development. Again, you can check that out from the link in the description. Now, just to give you a bit more information here, because I know this is kind of all over the place and not very structured, from the years of 2019 until kind of the middle of 2021, I was actually a full-time student in a computer science degree program. I completed 5 out of 8 of the semesters of that program before I decided to drop out, just due to the other opportunities that I had. But that is why I was working kind of summer jobs, and I never had any full-time position. It was because I was constantly being a student while running this YouTube channel, which was pretty much a full-time job at that point, and then doing any kind of summer gig that I would take on. So it wasn't until 2021 that I was able to really fully commit to doing things like being an algorithms instructor, creating this Programming Expert and Blockchain Expert course, and then of course running the YouTube channel, which obviously at this point is doing quite well, and that I'm going to continue to do for the foreseeable future. Now, though, I'll also mention that in 2022 is when I became the lead software engineer for this tech startup. So about a year and 2 months ago from filming this video, I was approached by the current founder of our company, who asked me if I wanted to come on and lead the engineering team. Obviously, this was the biggest kind of engineering role I could possibly take on. This was going to be the most amount of responsibility, the most amount of stuff that I needed to learn, and just something that I hadn't done before. To be honest, I probably wasn't qualified to be a senior software engineer here at this company, but I took on the role. I said, you know what, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to deal with it. And that's what I've done today. now, after taking on that and working for about a year, programming pretty much every single day on a really large scale project, I feel way more confident and way better in my programming skills, and I'm going to continue to do that. So I'm super happy I took that position. Obviously, it was very intimidating when I first kind of got brought on and was just expected to run all of this stuff, but I figured it out, and yeah, there you go. So I know that this video is kind of all over the place, but what I wanted to show with this video is that everyone has a different journey when it comes to being a developer or landing some kind of software engineering job. For me, mine was kind of all over the place. I've been programming for 10 years, yet I've only really been working as a software engineer for, say, the past 4 years. A lot of my experience as a software engineer is simply self-taught. It's through making YouTube videos, it's through teaching you guys, it's through making courses, and experimenting and kind of teaming up with other programmers around the internet. I haven't had a ton of formal software engineering experience, yet I'd still say I'm a pretty competent programmer, and obviously you guys can judge that for yourself when you watch my YouTube videos, go through my courses, and see the kind of apps that I'm building and that I'll release and share with you guys later in the year, and kind of, give you updates as we go along. In terms of what the future holds, I have no idea. I'm going to continue working for this tech startup. I'm going to be making a few other really awesome courses and teaming up with some companies, so look forward to that. And with that said, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. A reminder, if you want to become a software engineer, check out programmingexpert.io from the link in the description. You can also check out Blockchain Expert if you're into Web3 and blockchain development. With that said, I'll wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.